Hello, and welcome to RAM's video on quick tips for helping students with disabilities during remote learning. RAMP is one of many centers for independent living throughout the state of Illinois and the United States. RAMP serves Winnebago, Stevenson, DeKalb, and Boone counties. We currently have 3 youth advocates on staff who had been working throughout the pandemic. Staff have been working together with families to help them work towards their goals through email, video calls, and virtual platforms such as Zoom. Our youth education and advocacy services exist to help remove barriers so that students with disabilities can have access to an education so that they can become functional, participating members of society. We have seen a decrease in referrals over the last few months, so we wanted to create this video to share some tips with families, but to also share that RAMP services are still available during the pandemic. Our first tip for you is that attendance counts. Online learning is difficult to manage, and sometimes it feels like it would just be easier to not participate, but that's really not a good option. Attendance is a factor in determining or maintaining eligibility for special education. If your child has poor attendance, the school cannot decipher if the deficits that your child has are a result of their disability or a result of poor attendance. One of the barriers to attendance during remote learning may be that your child has difficulty maintaining focus. Help them get logged into their class for each day for attendance, and then work with their teacher or case manager on troubleshooting issues with focusing. Depending on the student's needs, they may be able to push some more breaks into your child's schedule, find ways to add in positive reinforcement, or use timers to help keep them on task. Our next tip for you is to track progress in minutes. We are really far into remote learning. Some families have been doing this for almost an entire school year by this point. Even though students with IEPs may be doing remote learning, they should still be working towards their individual goals and receiving their minutes for related services, such as speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, social work, etc. If they have any resource room minutes or paraprofessional minutes written into their IEP, they should be receiving those minutes as well. If your child is not receiving their minutes, you should reach out to their teacher or case manager to ensure that your child is receiving the services that they need. If your child is having a difficult time engaging, focusing, staying organized, staying on track, or any other behaviors that you see, track them at home. Just keep a simple notebook or electronic document with a date and time stamp, the activity that they were working on, as well as the behavior. Over time, you may be able to use the data that you have to work with the school staff on finding solutions for behaviors. While keeping data can seem tedious, it can help you identify if there's a specific class, certain subject, certain time of day that is really difficult for your child, and maybe you need to add in an extra break or a preferred activity before or after that task to be able to get through it. Our third tip is to communicate effectively. Effective communication is key to be able to form a partnership between yourself and school staff. When communicating, try to keep emotions in check. Even if you're frustrated or mad, try to maintain a professional demeanor. Often, if you are yelling at someone, they aren't actually listening. They throw up their own defense mechanisms and try to protect themselves, and it prevents you from getting your point across, and it even prevents you from getting any issues resolved. Understand that during this time, everyone is feeling overwhelmed, which includes parents and school staff. Show empathy and compassion because even though we've been doing remote learning for a while now, it's still really new to us as an educational platform. Communicate in writing. Email is probably best. You can still draft paper letters to school staff, but make sure you keep copies for your records if you do so. If you do have to call and speak to your child's case manager or teacher, follow it up with an email summarizing the conversation. And lastly, let local organizations help you. RAMP has a multitude of services for individuals with disabilities. For youth, we have both Youth Education and Advocacy, or YEA services, as well as Fast Track services. YEA services help parents navigate the special education process within the school system. Every parent has different goals for their children, but some of the things we often assist with include requesting evaluations, getting an IEP in place, adding or removing services or accommodations to an IEP, and helping to open the communication lines between the school and the family. The Fast Track program is a pre-employment program for students with disabilities aged 14 to 21. The program is funded through the Department of Rehab or the local DOORS office. Through that program, we work with students on self-advocacy, career exploration, workplace readiness, which could include how to complete job applications, resumes, interviewing skills, and budgeting, and post-secondary counseling. We also strive to provide a community-based experience based on the student's interests, which could be a virtual or in-person tour of a facility, job shadow, or practice interviews. If you're interested in any of these services or any of RAMP's other services, feel free to contact your local RAMP office and we can complete a referral or send you in the right direction. If you don't know where to start, RAMP can also provide you with information and refer you to other agencies as well. Thank you so much for watching today.